Hello and welcome. We're here today to talk about what it really takes to lead effective teams and how you can tap into the incredible potential that's probably hiding in plain sight within your own organization.
So let me ask you something. You've got these brilliant strategies, right? You've invested in the best tech, you've hired some really sharp people. But does it ever just feel stuck? Like no matter how perfect the plan is, something is quietly, slowly grinding it to a halt from the inside. Well, it turns out the root cause usually isn't the market or some big external force we can't control. All that friction, the stalls, the missed targets, it almost always points back to a breakdown in leadership and team dynamics. Let's just call it what it is: internal chaos.
And you know, this chaos, it's not just a fuzzy morale problem. Oh no, it is a massive, and I mean massive, quantifiable financial problem. These hidden issues are silently siphoning money right from your bottom line, and the numbers, they're absolutely staggering.
So, we've gone way past vague ideas like poor communication. We've actually put a price tag on these silent killers, and what we found is pretty shocking and a huge motivator for making a change.
Okay, first up is what we call the accountability deficit. This is the cost every single year when employees are just not clear on their roles, their goals, and how their work actually fits into the big picture. We're talking $576 billion. It's a catastrophic financial leak, all caused by simple disengagement and misalignment.
And if that wasn't enough, we've got the conflict tax. Get this, every week, the average employee loses almost 3 hours just dealing with workplace drama and disputes. Add that up, and you're looking at another $359 billion in lost productivity every year. That's money just gone, a direct hit.
So here's the kicker. When you put those two together, you are staring at a potential operational hemorrhage of nearly $1 trillion across the economy. This isn't just an HR issue anymore, is it? It's a full-blown strategic threat.
And this is why we're here. This chart maps it out perfectly. On the left, you've got those huge, scary numbers, the accountability deficit and the conflict tax. And right next to them, on the right, you can see the specific sessions in our program designed to be the antidote. This is your roadmap from financial drain to strategic recovery.
But you might be wondering, why does this even happen? Especially with smart, experienced leaders in charge. Well, to answer that, we've got to look at the neuroscience of how we make decisions. Because it turns out, a lot of these failures are rooted in some very predictable, very human emotional traps.
We call this the emotional blind spot. It's that moment when our subconscious drivers, the fear of having a difficult conversation or an ego that's just a little too attached to the old way of doing things, start making the decisions. These feelings are normal, but when they start driving strategy, they just create confusion and slam the brakes on growth.
And look, the data shows exactly how to fix this. Organizations that actually invest in structured coaching see a huge 45% jump in their leaders' self-awareness. And with that comes a 38% drop in all that ego-driven friction that fuels conflict and stalls progress. The proof is right there.
Our program is built on this very science to tackle that emotional blind spot head-on. We create lasting change by targeting 3 key things. First, emotion, teaching leaders how to manage their own responses. Second, sociality, building the kind of psychological safety where real collaboration can happen. And third, memory, basically hardwiring a clear purpose into everyone's daily actions so this learning doesn't just fade away, it sticks.
So, let's get into the antidote itself. This isn't some abstract theory. It's a super structured 48-hour intervention designed to systematically take apart that leadership chaos and rebuild a culture of high performance from the ground up.
The program is a 2-day intensive, and it's built with a very clear logic. Think of day 1 as triage. We're fixing the immediate problems, the communications gaps, the lack of accountability. We stabilize the system. Then on day 2, we build on that solid foundation to create a culture that's built for long-term, sustainable advantage.
On day 1, we give your leaders the actual tools they need to overcome those emotional blind spots. They learn how to communicate with structure to prevent misunderstandings and how to turn conflicts into opportunities. In fact, Session 3 is the direct fix for that $359 billion conflict tax we talked about. It's all about building real accountability and shared leadership.
Then, day 2 shifts gears. We go from fixing problems to architecting success for the long haul. This is where we make the changes permanent. We help your team define a crystal clear purpose, that why that really fuels motivation. Then we turn that purpose into real, concrete goals. And finally, we create the positive dynamics that make high performance the new normal, not the exception.
So, what does this all boil down to for your bottom line? Because let's be clear, this isn't just about creating a happier workplace. This is about delivering a very clear, very measurable return on your investment.
Let's reframe this. Poor leadership isn't some potential risk you might face down the road. It's an active, ongoing expense on your P&L right now. It's costing you money today through lost productivity, high turnover, and stalled projects.
And speaking of turnover, the data here is just brutal. Employees are 3.5 times more likely to quit within a year if they feel their leaders have poor interpersonal skills. The cost to replace that talent? It completely dwarfs the cost of prevention. This program is, hands down, one of the most powerful retention tools you can possibly have.
And this really says it all, doesn't it? Every single day you wait, you are actively choosing to eat the costs of inefficiency, conflict, and turnover. Doing nothing is not a neutral choice. It's a financially damaging one.
So, this is much more than just a training opportunity. This is your mandate to finally eliminate that internal friction and build the kind of cohesive, high-performing team that gives you a real, lasting, competitive advantage out there in the market.
We keep our cohorts small on purpose to make sure the experience is high impact and personal for everyone. That means placement is extremely limited. The time to stop the financial drain and truly transform your team is right now. Reach out to us and secure your spot.